Melanie here from International TEFL Academy in Costa Rica. Thanks for tuning in to our grammar presentations. Those of you that are already teaching English, we hope this is a good opportunity for you to refresh the content that you need to teach so you can be more confident in the classroom. And those of you that are thinking about teaching English abroad, we hope this is the first step in embarking in that journey. Let's get started.
Hey gang, today we're looking at a grammar concept called tag questions. Tag questions are questions that are put at the end of a sentence or declarative that are used to confirm our beliefs. For example, you are a doctor. This is my belief. This is what I believe to be true, and is a positive statement. So to confirm my belief, I'm going to put the tag. Because my statement is positive, my tag needs to be negative. So the entire phrase ends up being, you're a doctor, aren't you? For another example, she is from England. A positive declarative in the present tense, so my tag will use a negative, also in the present. So our whole phrase becomes, she's from England, isn't she? For an example of a third person plural, and also in the past tense, my sentence is, they weren't in class yesterday, were they? Again, past tense of the verb to be, so I need to make sure my tag uses the past tense as well. And my declarative, my belief, is negative, therefore my tag is going to be positive. Your belief and the confirmation should always be using opposites, positive or negative. If you'll notice, all three of these examples are using the verb to be. Pay attention to who your subject is and the tense that is being used. And remember, your tag to confirm your belief will always use the opposite, whether it's positive or negative. Let's look at some tag questions that are not using the verb to be. They are using forms of the auxiliary do. Again, we need to always make sure we know who our subject is and what tense we're working with. For example, you work at the hospital. Remember, this is what I believe to be true, so I'm going to put my tag, don't you. Don't is negative because my declarative work was a verb in the positive form. For an example of the third person singular, he has a car, doesn't he? Has is positive, so my tag doesn't needs to be negative, and I'm still using a form of the auxiliary do. For third person plural and also in the past tense, they didn't do the homework, did they? Because our declarative is negative in this case, my tag needs to be positive. And again, it's in the past tense, so I'm using did. We can also use tag questions with the perfect tenses, present, past, or even future. For instance, you have been to Cuba, haven't you? Have is a positive verb, so my tag needs to be negative. Again, what I believe to be true is that you have been to Cuba, so I'm using the tag to confirm my belief. Remember that the perfects have conjugations of have and has in the present, had in the past, and then followed by a past participle. Remember that a past participle is the form of the verb that cannot stand alone. For an example of third person singular, he has studied, hasn't he? You'll notice that my tags all use forms of the auxiliary have. In this case, hasn't, negative, because my declarative is positive. For an example of the past in third person plural, they hadn't paid yet, had they? We're using had because we're using the past perfect, and my declarative is negative, so my tag needs to be positive. Let's also take a look at tag questions being used with modal verbs. Remember, modal verbs are words like can and could and might and would and should and must. We often use modal verbs to talk about speculation or talk about possibilities, right? But these examples all use a modal verb. For instance, you can cook, can't you? Again, my belief is in the declarative. In this case, I believe that you can cook, which is a positive verb, so my tag needs to use the negative can't. Again, I'm using that tag to confirm my belief. For an example with a different modal, he should get a job, shouldn't he? Should is positive in the declarative, so I need to use the negative shouldn't in my tag. Finally, they wouldn't lie, would they? My belief is that they would not lie. That's why it's in the declarative part of my sentence. And my tag is using the positive would to confirm my belief.
Nikolai, you're from Seattle, aren't you?
Yeah, I am actually.
Cool.
Glad you remembered. You can speak Spanish, can't you?
Yeah, I can. You're right.
Jess, you live in America, don't you?
I do. And you live in Canada, don't you?
I do. Nikolai, you drive a car, don't you?
I do drive a car when I'm in the United States, not in Costa Rica. Sadly. You are studying at the ITA Costa Rica school right now, aren't you?
I am. The whole program.
And you are here with your girlfriend, aren't you?
That's correct. Yes. Taking the class together.
Cool.
You are staying in Costa Rica afterwards, aren't you?
Actually, I'm going to Peru, but I think you told me you're staying here, aren't you?
For a week, then I'll go back to work.
All right, let's review tag questions. Remember, we use the tags to confirm our belief. The belief will be in the declarative part of the sentence, and the tag is the question, and it will confirm what we believe to be true. Remember, we always need to pay attention to who our subject is, what tense we're using, and what verb we're using. Remember, we can use tag questions with the verb to be. Other verbs will use the auxiliary do. We can use it with the perfects, and we can even use it with modal verbs. For example, we are good students, aren't we? Remember, my belief is that we are good students, that's why I'm using a positive verb, so my tag is using the negative aren't to confirm that belief. Remember, they always need to be opposites, whether it's positive or negative. And finally, you have seen this before, haven't you? Again, my belief is that you have seen it. I'm using a positive verb, and my tag uses the negative haven't to confirm that belief.